Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Miss KK and this is The Wave. It is your weekly show that dissects topics related to personal, family and business finances, and our hope is that by the time you get to the end of this series, you'll be better equipped to make sound financial decisions. If you're new here, thank you so much. We really love having you on board. Please consider clicking the subscription as well as the bell icon in the comment below so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you so much. Please consider giving this video a like and as well as share it with your friends and family. That way you help us grow this amazing community. Alright, today I am excited to do our second video of the week, and today we are speaking about the process of selling shares. I am doing this video in response to the anticipated initial public offer that MTC has planned to do towards the end of this month, and the prospectus is expected to come out early next week. So I just thought people should know what's the process entailed in selling the shares should you find yourself buying shares in this initial public offering. Personally, I've had to think about selling shares I bought a couple of years ago recently because of independence reasons, and I didn't actually know where to start. So I decided the best place for me to actually get this knowledge is through the Namibian Stock Exchange. So I called them up to ask them what's the process that one has to follow if they are to sell shares, and I established that through that knowledge you really need to do it through a registered broker. So in the country, there's a couple of brokers that are registered with the Namibian Stock Exchange. So I called a couple of them, then I realized I actually need to do it with a broker that is based in Budget Bee, just because I need to hand in some original documents, because in this process, they don't accept scanned copies or email copies. You need to actually deliver the original document, either the share certificate, the bank confirmation, if you get one from the bank, as well as some of your certified identity document. So I then called up one of the brokers that's based here in Budget Bee, and I had to fill in an application form, and that is very basic. You just need to fill in your personal information. They ask you banking information and you need to sign. On top of the application form, you also need to fill in a CM42 form. That is a transfer of security form. Essentially, if you are selling your shares, you are giving up ownership to someone else. So it's only fair that you need to transfer that, to sign that you've transferred your security to another person. So what actually surprised me in the process, which I really didn't know, is the levies involved in selling shares. So NSX which is the Namibian Stock Exchange, has regulated sort of the levies that you need to pay if you are selling your shares. So there's sort of three levies that you need to pay. You need to pay a levy to the broker that is helping you sell the shares. You need to pay a levy to NSX, which is the listing house, and you also need to pay a levy to NAMFISA, which is the regulator of banking and related institution in Namibia. So those levies ranges from they range from 1% to 0.3 or something percent, and it doesn't really matter with which broker you sell your shares, because ultimately it's regulated and you're going to buy you are going to incur the same amount of levies. But what they also do is they work on a tier-based system. So the more shares you have, the cheaper it becomes to sell. The little shares you have, the more expensive it becomes to sell. So they will have a tier to say from 0 to 10%, you pay 1% of this. From 20,000 to 50,000, you pay, for example, this. So you should just watch out, or go to the Namibian Stock Exchange for you to familiarize yourself with the levies, so that you are informed at how much you're going to be charged should you want to sell your shares someday. So on top of having actually now sold your shares, I just want to highlight the various strategies that you can have your shares. So you can buy shares as a form of a trading activity. If you are a share trader, you ultimately aim at buying shares when they are low and then selling it when the price has gone up, and the difference between how much you paid and how much you're actually selling it for then becomes your profit. Alternatively, you can decide you're going to hold these shares as sort of an income stream, and if you are that type of investor, you need to find shares that are declaring dividends on a regular basis. So but you must also bear in mind that most of the companies, if not a lot, would declare dividends in cents per share. So if you have 100 shares and a company declares a dividend of 10 cents per share, that means you are only getting 100 times 10, which is $10. So you need to realize that you really only make money out of shares, a lot of money out of shares, the more you have a lot of it. So consider that in mind, and also the more you have, the more shares you have, the cheaper it will be when you want to ultimately sell it. So really, that's all I wanted to highlight in this process. Bear in mind that if you are going to sell your shares, you need to keep your original share certificate, and you need to hand that in, because ultimately you dissolve your ownership from the shares. So that's all I had from this discussion. Next week I want to do a detailed video on the MTC IPO if I do get hold of the prospectus, because I just want to highlight some of the things that you can actually look at in terms of the prospectus, so that you can determine whether that share is worth buying. I'm not going to be telling you whether you should buy or not buy. I'm just going to tell you what you need to look out for in determining whether you should buy or not. If you have any specific request that you'd like me to include in that video, please leave it in the comment below, then I'll incorporate that. Or if you have any specific question based on what I've discussed today, please also just ask your question in the comment below, then I'll attend to those questions. So that was about it from today's discussion. Very brief, high level, and also just, trying to create awareness of the process of buying and selling shares. Thank you so much for being with us. We always appreciate your time, and thank you so much for helping us grow this amazing community. And that is about it from my end, and it's goodbye.